Hello, Gemini, and welcome to Indigo Rising Tarot. Thank you so much for joining me today, and I hope you're having a great day. This will be your weekly reading for the week of March 22nd through the 28th. And during that time, we have a waxing crescent moon. And that is a time of heightened senses. We're buckling down and working on those things that we just started with the new moon. So it's just a good time to live up to our expectations and our intentions. And then we do have a little bit of a disruptor with the first quarter moon, and that comes in on the 26th. And that can be a time where you might feel a little impulsive, impatient. Your mind might be very active. It's kind of hard to concentrate, get anything done. So think about working through that energy in whatever way. Maybe you can relax a little more that day or not have to work too hard, or you just kind of meditate or get through it somehow. We then move into the waxing gibbous energy for the rest of the week. And of course, that's a time it's more calm, deeper understanding and outlook. And it's a good time for us to get back to work, but also to make to make changes and show that we can be flexible and the intentions that we had, we might just need to make little adjustments. So please keep those moon energies in mind as we move through the week. This will be an intuitive general reading for the energies that you may or may not encounter, Gemini. So, as always, please take what resonates and leave what doesn't on the table for someone else. And your overall message for this reading is be bold and make the first move. Okay, let's see what the Gemini Collective has going on for this week. My fun weekly reminder this week is that you keep a spiritual journal. A lot of times, sometimes we're learning things, and in the spiritual realm, this could be things, maybe it's a dream that you're having or something that you learn that you want to remember, or, maybe you're learning about, there might be a number that you're encountering. And so, you might write down what the angel number is for that particular number, so it kind of sticks with you. So keeping a spiritual journal, it's just a really good tool to have later if you want to look back, kind of see where you've been, and where you're headed. It's like dreams, especially writing those down, it's just so important. I feel like we all have our own individual dream language, and sometimes it's a little hard to discern. So you might look back later on a dream that you had that makes sense now. Like, say, you journal this dream, and 6 months later you come back and you're reading it, and you're like, oh, I know exactly now what that means because this, and this happened. And I didn't really understand that symbolism at the time, but now I do. So now you're learning about what your individual dream symbolism means. So that's just one example. But keeping a spiritual journal is just something that I find to be very important. It's just a really good tool for you. So that is my fun weekly reminder for you, Gemini. All right, let's get into this reading. I will stop babbling, I swear. Oh, we have cards trying to turn over here. We will take those on the top of our reading right here. All right, your overall present energy right now is the Nine of Pentacles. So look at you enjoying the fruits of your labor, sitting in a good spot where, this is kind of like, work's been good, everything's good, the bank account's full, the house is organized, things are just really good for you right now, and you're just kind of enjoying that. Maybe a good calm time for you, or just enjoying the hard work that you've been putting in. Your current situation right now is the Two of Wands. So you're definitely thinking about the future and thinking, I'm doing great right now, but where am I headed? What is my next move? Sometimes this is, should I, kind of stay? Should I stay here? Maybe you don't have to make a move. Maybe we're not making big moves or big changes. Maybe you just enjoy the fruits of your labor right now. This could be a time to do that, maybe for the next few months. But, or do you want to make some changes? So that's something that you're thinking about right now is what do I want in my future? And it's okay to relax and take that time to evaluate that for yourself. That's something we're all doing. Let's see, at the root of your situation is the Empress. So this is a card of creativity and long-term creativity. This can be a card of pregnancy for some of you, but if it's not actual pregnancy, but I do have to bring that up because that can be a thing. I've seen that happen in certain readings, but the Empress is definitely very mothering and beautiful and bountiful, and is able to commit to something like that long term, like the birth of a child, the creation of a child that is now, you're going to carry for 9 months and then raise until adulthood and then be there even after they're adults. But if you think about it, not in the terms of childbirthing, it could be a project that's like that. And this could be, This could be something as simple as buying a home. When you buy a home, it's almost like it's not really like having a baby, but it's a long-term project. It's not something you enter into lightly. It's something you're going to take this home and you're going to nurture it and build a home there. You're going to, paint things and change things and remodel things and make it your own. And you're going to do that hopefully for the long term. Many times it's something you may be in this home for years and years. So entering into a project like that, and again, maybe that's something you're thinking about in the future, is something long term that you really, do you want to commit to something like that long term? Think about it. And if that's a project that you want to start, and then by all means, get to work on it. In your recent past here is the Queen of Pentacles. So it looks like you're surrounded with, kind of a material wellness. You're fine when it comes to material things. And again, maybe it could be about changing your environment. It could be something as simple as putting a garden in your backyard, something that is kind of long term. You might want to do this for years and years. And so we're going to start small and go from there. But again, tarot is a template. It can template over so many different things. So, if you're thinking about the future and thinking about things that you might want to commit to long term, this could even be committing to some sort of long term investment, because we're talking about pentacles. So, again, it might template over different things for different Geminis. What's on your mind this week is the Two of Swords here. So now we've got two twos on the table. You may want to look up angel number 22, see if that means anything for you. But the Two of Swords is no decision about something until you think it through. Of course, your overall message was be bold and make the first move. So there is something that you're thinking about. Are you going to be bold and make a decision and make the first move? But there's something that you're thinking about the future and thinking about doing, and you just haven't. And it does look to be, creatively and materially involved here somehow. So again, this could be as simple as a home improvement project, or it could be purchasing a home. It could be moving. It could be doing some major renovation, but it has something to do with your physical or material, things that you can touch around you, be it money or things or tangible things like that. What is just ahead of you, Gemini, is the Five of Swords. So there could be some sort of debate going on, or, it could be words that were even exchanged. Many times the swords, this is kind of a winning through underhanded tactics or deceit. But I also feel like I always say with this card that I'm not sure about that meaning. We're taught that as tarot readers, and in some cases that does seem to apply. But like in a case right now, like where I'm looking at this card, is I see swords as air energy, and that can be words that are said. And where there's some words that you said recently that maybe hurt some feelings, and you've got these swords out, and you didn't say everything, but you might have said some things, or and if that is the case for you this week, then maybe it is time to reconcile that, or just maybe be careful with your words this week. Sometimes those things need to be said, so maybe not. Maybe you just need to be out with it, but also, just be careful that and I don't mean careful in what you say, but careful in other people's feelings. So, you can see the people in the back of this card here turning away. This one looks like they're maybe crying a little bit. So, just be careful with your words, and whatever this decision that you might have to make sure that if it involves other people, that you listen to everyone's opinions, right? In your advice position here is the Wheel of Fortune. So I like that when we're talking about pentacles. It looks like you're just in a good place. This is a card of evolvement. This is a card of also change. This could be literally, coming into some money. This is about the Wheel of Fortune. You spin that wheel, you may win, you may lose, but you're out there spinning it. So the advice is to do that, is to go ahead and take risks and to do things and let allow for that change. Our life can change with this Wheel of Fortune on a dime. We go from one day to the next, and one lucky thing can happen and really change your life. So I think this in the advice position is really just be open to that. Just be open to the fact that life can change ever so quickly and in a positive way, right? What is beyond your control this week is the Temperance card. So, Temperance is about balance and calm. This is the angel on the shoulder that's telling you those positive things. This is being very centered, but also listening to those positive things. Sometimes that devil's on one shoulder. When the angel's on the other one, listen, we try to block that devil out, but you kind of want to listen to the angel a little more, that's saying those positive things and keeping you balanced and just kind of being your cheerleader. So that's beyond your control this week, which I love. I love that card. It's one of my favorite in the deck. the secret desire, what you're trying to avoid here. Well, your secret desire is the 10 of Pentacles. I hope. I don't know for anyone that is trying to avoid long-term wealth and security. So really, again, this could be about some sort of investment or doing something that is it's long-term. With this Empress card, it's something that you're going to engage in that's going to take some time. It's not something that's going to happen tomorrow, unless, well, I mean, it can happen tomorrow, but you're going to make plans for the long term, right? So I love that there's so many pentacles in this reading. I'm just curious. I feel like, if you're feeling a little lucky this week, I would, maybe play the lotto. I would maybe head to the casino. You might be a little bit luckier this week than normal. In your outcome position, Gemini, is the Emperor. Look at you being so in charge. And here is, I love this card because it's a 4. This is our card of, it's the most stable card in the deck. And Gemini, this, when you look at all of these, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4. Was that it? 4, yeah, 4 major arcana cards showing up here for you. And so many pentacles also with the 9, the 10, the queen, and also this Wheel of Fortune. I always see that as like a big pentacle, even though it's not really. But the outcome is that you can build something. You can build something that's long term. And is this material? Maybe. Is it probably other things as well? I see this guy, this is a card of material wealth and security, of course, because it's pentacles. But, I feel like when we're building things long term for a family, when we're raising kids, you're thinking about your grandkids in mind and you're thinking about, what goes on beyond you. And hopefully that's not only material things that you're building, but also, that you're putting values and morals and different things into people, your kids, or into your clan, or whoever that might be for you, that you're that those things are going to be taken forward, your little tribe that you're building. And that could be, sometimes it's our family members, but sometimes that's friends and people that are around you as well, when I say that by tribe. But you're being a really good example for all of those people around you. So whatever long-term thing you're building, I'm going to say keep going it. This is the master builder. The Emperor knows how to get things done, and it looks like you're doing that right now, Gemini, which I really, really like for you. What is hidden from you this week is the King of Pentacles. Very interesting with all of these pentacles. So there might be some sort of knowledge that you do need to take some time to gain. And this would be like, again, if this is about some investment or something that you're thinking about making, that you need to be very knowledgeable about it. If it's some kind of wheel you're going to spend, be knowledgeable about it. Make sure that you have all the information, that you're reading a book or watching a lecture, or whatever way you garner information about the whatever material thing you're thinking about. Again, it could be a home renovation. Make sure you know everything, so that when you hire someone and they come in and they're going to give you a quote, you already kind of know what's up. Don't go into that blind. Anyway, so just make sure, if it's hidden from you, that the king is about having the knowledge about something. And if that card is hidden from you, it might be that's just an indicator that maybe you need to seek out a little bit more knowledge, and that probably will fuel this decision. But be bold and make the first move is your overall message card, so keep that in mind as well. Let's get a final word here for Gemini from the Soul Oracle deck. Final message here for Gemini as they are making this first move or making this long-term decision too. There's a lot going on in this reading. Trying to see if I've missed anything. Look up angel number 22. We do actually have 2 10s as well. So you might also want to look up angel number 1010. All right, let's get you a final message here. Final message for Gemini. All right, this card right here. Make no judgments. Okay, make no judgments. So things are coming along. It looks like you might have to make decisions, but maybe make no judgments. You'll know what that means when the time comes. I'm sure of it. Let's see what you need to do in the way of self-care. Okay, Dak, do you want to shuffle here? Okay. Self-care for Gemini this week as they're going through whatever the situation is, however this templates. I'm kind of curious. It's an interesting reading, I will say that. All right, the card for you for self-care is to listen. People start to heal the moment they feel heard. Wow. Okay, so I was talking back here about words being exchanged here, and that this is kind of ahead of you this week. And this might be exactly what this card is talking about. Sometimes we're throwing words out there, and are we listening to the other side or the other person? So make sure that you are taking some time to listen, Gemini, because sometimes people have to express things, especially if decisions that you are making also involve other people. So make sure that you are taking time to listen and take in all the information. So Gemini, whatever this is for you this week, I hope it works out in your favor, and I wish you all the luck with it. If there's something, I hope there's something in this reading that you can take away and use in a positive way in your life this week. If you're comfortable sharing, of course, drop me a comment down below, or if you have questions, I'd be happy to answer those for you. Also, if you like my reading style, hitting like and subscribe is very helpful to me, and I appreciate that in advance. So thank you so much, Gemini. Good luck with all of this, and I will see you next week. Bye bye.